says Boston is too expensive, too cold, and too crowded. So why are people still moving here in 2025? Because if you know the truth about this city, it changes everything. Boston isn't just a place to live, it's a place that builds careers, builds families, and builds wealth like nowhere else in the country. The catch, if you don't understand how Boston really works, you'll either get priced out or end up in the wrong neighborhood with major regrets. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why people keep fighting to get in and what you need to know if you're thinking about making the move yourself. I've spent nearly a decade helping people buy and sell in Greater Boston, from first-time homebuyers to families relocating from across the country. And I've seen what actually makes this city worth it and where people go wrong. Let's start with why Boston keeps pulling people in, despite everything that works against it on paper. First, it's an economic magnet. You've got Harvard, MIT, Northeastern, BU, BC. That's really just the tip of the iceberg. These universities don't just educate students, they spin off companies, attract research dollars, and create entire ecosystems. Then you layer in Mass General, Brigham and Women's, Boston Children's. These are some of the best hospitals in the entire world. Add biotech companies, tech startups, and established players like Fidelity, State Street, and Liberty Mutual. But here's what most people miss. Boston isn't just where jobs are, it's where careers are made. The network effect here is pretty insane. Your coworker at a biotech startup today could be founding the next unicorn tomorrow. Your neighbor might be a professor who consults for Fortune 500 companies. This density of talent and opportunity doesn't exist in most places. Then there's the lifestyle layer that you literally can't fake. Where else can you walk from a 300-year-old cemetery to a world-class museum to a championship sports team stadium? I'm not talking about Disney World history. This is the real deal. The Freedom Trail isn't just tourist stuff, it's your neighborhood. And here's the kicker. Despite the cost, smart people see Boston as an investment in their future. They're not just paying rent or a mortgage, they're paying for access. Access to opportunities, networks, and experiences that compound over time. Think about it this way. Would you rather save $500 a month living somewhere cheaper, or invest in a place where your career could jump 2 levels because of who you meet at a coffee shop? That's the Boston calculation, and more people are deciding that it's worth it than ever before. Now let's bust some myths, because Boston's reputation doesn't tell the whole story. Misconception number 1 is that Boston is just cold winters and high rents. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you about February, but you know what people forget? Spring in Boston is incredible. Fall is world famous for a reason. Summer means concerts on the Esplanade, Red Sox games, Cape Cod weekends. And those high rents, well, they're high because demand is high. But when you break down cost per square foot versus lifestyle per square foot, Boston often wins. Here's what's really happening. Boston isn't just one big expensive city, it's dozens of small, distinct communities. Beacon Hill feels like European luxury. Savin Hill is a working class neighborhood with killer Vietnamese food nearby. Roslindale is diverse, artsy, and still affordable. Each area has its own personality, its own rhythm, and its own advantages. The everyday living piece is massive. You can walk to work, walk to dinner, walk to world-class museums. Your kids can take the T to school. You don't need a car for most things. The Charles River Esplanade is great for running or walking. The Harbor Islands are awesome for day trips. 3 major sports teams are right downtown, and food scenes rival anywhere else in the country. Here's my hot take. People don't move to Boston for comfort, they move here for a lifestyle that's really hard to find anywhere else. Comfort can get you the suburbs of any mid-tier city. This, well, you can only get this here. Quick timeout. If you're thinking about making a move to Boston, I've put together a free relocation guide that breaks down everything you need to know, from neighborhoods to costs to mistakes to avoid. The link is in the description below, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. Make sure you grab it before you start your search, because the mistakes I see people make could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Now let's talk about the real elephant in the room, Boston real estate. And here's something that most people don't understand is that Boston doesn't crash. I've been doing this for almost a decade. I've seen national markets go up and down. Boston, it either goes up or it goes sideways. It doesn't crash because of 2 factors, scarcity and demand. We literally do not have more land in Boston, which creates a huge problem for building. The geography prevents it. And demand, well, we just talked about universities, hospitals, tech, biotech, none of that is going away. And if anything, it's actually accelerating. Here's what I see happen over and over. High earners move to Boston, they rent for a year or two, then they realize that buying is a smarter long-term play. Even at these prices, because they understand something that people complaining about prices don't. It isn't just housing, it's wealth building. So let's talk numbers for a second. The median home prices in Greater Boston hit $1 million this year. And that sounds insane until you realize the nuance is in the neighborhoods. Single family homes in solid neighborhoods for $600,000 to $800,000. And yes, luxury properties for $2 to $3 million and up. But here's the key insight. Boston real estate doesn't bend to national trends. When other markets went absolutely insane and boomed during the pandemic, Boston grew, but comparatively to those other markets, it was way more stable. It either compounds your wealth over time or it locks you out if you wait too long. I've had clients who bought expensive properties 5 years ago that are now worth 40 to 50% more than what they paid. I've also had clients who waited for prices to come down and now are priced out of neighborhoods that they could have afforded back then and are finding themselves in positions of making greater sacrifices today. All right, let's be honest about what you're signing up for. Yes, it's expensive. A coffee costs $5, parking downtown is $40, a decent one-bedroom apartment is $2,500 to $3,000 a month minimum. Compare that to Austin, Nashville, Charlotte. Yeah, it costs a lot more. Yes, winters can be rough. January and February can be brutal. Snow, cold, way shorter days. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. But here's what I tell people. You trade 3 months of tough weather for 9 months of incredible seasons and year-round opportunity. Yes, space is tight. Your apartment will be smaller than what you can get in Phoenix or Dallas. Street parking can be a competitive sport here. And your yard might be a small patio, a balcony, or a shared courtyard. But here's what you gain. Walkability, connection, community. Your neighbors aren't just people that happen to live near you. They're professors, entrepreneurs, doctors, artists. Your local bar isn't just a place to drink. It's where you might meet your next business partner. The punchline is that people complain about Boston and they still move here. Because when you actually experience the benefits, they way outweigh the trade-offs every single time. So if you're considering Boston, here's how to think about it. If you're relocating, choose your neighborhood based on lifestyle, not just price. Want to walk to work? Look at Back Bay, North End, Cambridge. Want a family vibe? Check out something like Brookline, Arlington, Needham. If you want something more up and coming, consider Roslindale, East Boston, or parts of Dorchester. If you're looking to buy, think about timing and entry points. Don't just wait for the perfect moment. I've seen too many people analyze themselves out of good opportunities. The best time to buy in Boston is when you're financially ready and you've found the right property, period. If you're moving with a family, prioritize schools and community over square footage. A smaller place in a great school district with walkable amenities beats a bigger house when you're stuck in your car all day. Here's my final hot take. If you're waiting for Boston to get easier, you'll be waiting forever. The smart move is to figure out how to make it work. Because the people that figure it out, well, they don't just survive in Boston, they thrive in ways they never expected. If you're serious about moving to Boston, let's talk. My team and I have helped hundreds of people relocate here successfully, and we would love to walk you through the right neighborhoods, the process, and a strategy that works for your specific situation and goals. My contact information is in the description if you want to set up a time to talk. It's a no pressure conversation where we'll give you honest advice about whether Boston makes sense for you, and if it does, exactly how to make it happen. And if you want to dive deeper into what neighborhoods in Boston are the best or the worst, make sure to check out this video right here on your screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.